Appeal court ends Nnamdi trial orders, IPOB leaders release. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for tuning in and listening to this headline that we got to air this morning. As our headline for this morning says here that the appeal court ends Nnamdi trial, orders the IPOB leader release. Well, well, there are some jubilations swept through the southeast states of Abia and Enugu last night following the quashing of the charges pressed by the federal government against independent people of Biafra IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. Well, as the report on the appellant is accordingly discharged, pronouncement by court filters into the air, the Onaizi Indigbo described the judicial reprieve as the best news of the year. It expressed the belief that the verdict will end killings and sit-at-homes in the southeast. Well, in a ruling, the Court of Appeal in Abuja declared as lawful the adoption of the IPOB leader from Kenya to Nigeria. A three-member panel of the appellant court also squashed the terrorism charges brought against him by the federal government. Well, the Court of Appeal was of the view that the federal government breached all local and international laws of the forceful rendition of Kenya to Nigeria, thereby making the terrorism charges against him incompetent and unlawful. Well, the judgment was on an appeal marked CA ABJ CR 625 2024 filed by Kanu against an earlier ruling by Justice Binta Nwankwo of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Well, Justice Oludotun Adekofe Okoje, who read the lead judgment, declared as illegal the unlawful Kanu's adoption from Kenya to Nigeria. The justice quashed the remaining 7 counts of the 15-count charges filed before the Federal High Court in the federal government, and Justice Binta Nwankwo of the Federal High Court in Abuja had in an earlier ruling quashed 8 of the 15 counts. By the illegal adoption of extraordinary rendition of the appellant, there was a clear violation by the respondent federal government of international treaties, convention, as well as the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Justice Adefope Okoje said. She added that having flagrantly breached Kanu's fundamental right, the government has lost the legal right to put him on trial. Well, the justice held that laws are meant to be obeyed and that the federal government has no reason to have taken laws into its hand by acting illegally and unlawfully in its way it handled Kanu's case. Well, she held that the government's failure to abide by due process in the manner it brought Kanu back to the country was fatal to sustaining the charges pending against Kanu before the Federal High Court. She added that the failure by the federal government to disclose where and when the alleged offences brought against Kanu were committed was equally fatal to terrorism charges and made them liable to dismissal. The judge said, by engaging in utter unlawful and illegal acts in breach of its own law in the instant matter, the federal government did not come to equality to clean hands and must be called to order. But with appalling disregard to local and international law, the federal government has lost the right to put the appellant trial for any offences. Treaties and protocols are meant to be obeyed. No government in the world is permitted to abduct anybody without following due process of extradition. Nigeria is not exception or excuse. Well, Nigeria must obey their own law and that of international. So to avoid anarchy, Justice Adefope Okoje noted that while the court may not have the power to dedicate the executive, it could prevent the executive from abusing the law, adding that courts should not be shy from always calling the executive to order. Well, she noted that issues of jurisdiction raised by the appellant was one that was critical to the case, which the court ought to have resolved first. Well, in holding that the issue of jurisdiction was properly raised before the trial court, Justice Adefope Okoje observed that the trial court turned a blind eye to it. The lower court must pronounce properly on all issues presented before it. The trial court ought to have made findings on the issue raised regarding the extradition. She held that the trial court therefore lacked the jurisdiction to try appellant on the retained court of the charges. Well, Justice Adefope Okoje says no court can try him going by the circumstances of the extraordinary rendition, having resolved issues in one favor of the appellant with dues of jurisdiction. The order of Justice Binta Nwankwo, which ordered appellant to answer a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 15, is set aside, terminated, and dismissed. Appellant is accordingly discharged. Well, that is all we have for you concerning this headline today this morning, which says here that appeal court ends in Nnamdi Kanu's trial, orders IPOB's leader release. Well, of course, you heard it from me this morning, and if you're not to subscribe, the best you can do right now is to tap the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave a like on this video to get more updates concerning this in the near future to come. Well, now you know what is going around concerning Nigeria's ecosystem. Well, now you know what is going around concerning the whole of Nnamdi Kanu. Well, reports reaching me right now is the appeal court ends in Nnamdi Kanu's trial, says that they want Nnamdi Kanu to be released because there's a lot of jubilation going around right now in the southeast. People are happy because they see that this may be the major step of Nnamdi Kanu being released, because the appeal court has put in a matter concerning the prolonged detention that Nnamdi Kanu is going through. They say that that truly the federal government actually has no right to take matters into their own hands. Yes, from renditioning to Kenya, from making those armies go to his house and destroy his home, all those things that the federal government did, they took matters into their own hand, and that is bad. For that, the appeal court has now ordered the court again to release Nnamdi Kanu. Yeah, you know they've done it before, and the federal government did not allow them to release Nnamdi Kanu, and now they're doing the same thing again, sending them to release Nnamdi Kanu. And the organizers are like, yeah, this is a very good news. This can actually bring an end to the insecurity problem that is destroying the southeast that everybody has been shouting for. Yes, everybody wants the president to release Nnamdi Kanu just to solve the insecurity problem that is happening in the southeast, because it's too much. And now the appeal court has taken a very big major lead, a very big major step concerning the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And believe me, this may be the beginning of a new dawn in the southeast. As far as Nnamdi Kanu is released, say no to insecurity in the southeast anymore, and say yes to peace. That is what they want the president to understand, that your president cannot understand. Seriously. Well, concerning all this, I really hope that Nnamdi Kanu's release will really better the people of the southeast. Like said over here, the report of Nnamdi Kanu accordingly discharged pronouncement by court filtered into the air, and in the NIZ and every other human being in southeast right now are very much happy. So what do you guys think? Drop a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like on this video. You can tap the subscribe button as big on with the notification bell, so anytime I have any new video, you'll be the first to get notified about it. Once again, thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day ahead of you.